Here we have my LA-Capa Customs LA Cat build, which is completely custom. I think the only thing stock on it is the frame. I'm going to be going over everything that went into it, accessories, and how it performed. The next video will be gameplay, showing how it performs in a game scenario. So starting off, we got the tracer on the front, which is the Ace-Tech Bifrost. This is by far the best tracer you can get. It does a little flash, so you can see different colours. You can change it, obviously, with the theme of the build. I've set it to purple. Worked really well indoors, lights up BBs perfectly, and just looks pretty cool. And it's nice and compact too. So that's the first bit of the build. Use the tracer. Obviously it's a must-have if you're in CQB. Outdoor, not as much. Next, I got the Surefire light on the bottom right here. Nice little light. It's got a little switch here, but you can also tap it to get the light, so that's nice. Just to put your thumb on it and just strobe it if you can. Then on the front I've got a lens protector, which is just cut out of a safety goggle. I'll probably do a video of how to do that to protect your sights and your lights, obviously. My mate Skits, obviously Menace Skits, he had his light shot out in one of his games, so I'm pretty lucky to have one of these. Also there's a light filter in there, as you can see, the purple light filter. It's just from watches, it's just been cut a little circle and then glued inside. But yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. Next part of the build is the adapter and the mag. We'll take that out. It's a Monk Customs adapter. I've just put a little rubber band around here. You can get these on AliExpress for really cheap. No need to buy any of the fancy ones. They look cool enough. I'll put a link below if I can find it. Obviously it's the Monk Customs adapter right here. 3D printed one, not the aluminium one. But we got the aluminium mag release. So this was actually a prototype from Monk Customs because mine broke. I contacted them. It was really bad customer service, so I contacted the US one. They were kind enough to send out this, which is the prototype. This was before the aluminium adapter was released. They told me not to tell anyone. So yeah, it's pretty cool to have this actually. And it's a solid piece, so I'll probably get the aluminium adapter eventually because it's for Glock and Hi-Capa. So that's a really nice adapter. Best one I've had. It hasn't broke. I've had it for 2 years now. It may even be a year and a half. But yeah, lasted pretty well. Next, we've got the mag itself, which is just a Speed QB purple mag. 120 rounds right there. We've got the Savage Speed Soft band on it just because it looks cool. Yeah, that's about it for this mag. Works really well, shoots well, feeds perfect in this, no issues. Put that to one side. Now the build itself, I'll take it apart and I'll show you what's in it. So if we take the slide off here, I can show you the upper and the lower. So first off, I'll show you what went into the upper. I'm just going to grab an Allen key here so I can take it all apart so you can see what went inside of it. So first off, I'm going to take out the recoil setup to show you what went into it and how to get it really snappy, basically. So with the recoil setup, I've just got 2 of the buffers right here, which are cow buffers, and then I've got 2 of these little rubber ones which come with the TM gold match. So they come with the gold match pre-short stroked, and then I put these short strokes in there with 2 metal washers. I think this is the best setup you can get. You can probably get it shorter, but you'll get feeding issues, so this works perfectly for me. I've got the AIP 120% recoil spring, and then the AIP 4-3 guide plug. Now I use 4-3 even though it's a 5-1 build because it allows you to put more short strokes in it and it's easier to get the whole recoil setup out, and it fits in the barrel nice and snug. This is not going anywhere, nice and smooth. Now the guide rod itself is just from a gold match, I believe. I think it's a gold match, even though it's silver, it is from the gold match. But yeah, just 5-1 guide rod, simple enough. I don't feel you need to upgrade the guide rod, to be honest. The only thing you would do it for is light, if you want it really lightweight, but a couple grams don't really make a difference when it's not performance enhancing, so I didn't really bother with that one. Next, I'll show you the barrel setup. So we've actually got the Ubisoft barrel. It came in this little, oh no, Unisoft, not Ubisoft, that's the gaming one, my bad. It's like the really lightweight, I think it's called like the skeletal barrel. I'm not really sure. It was on Hi-Capa Hub. It was the last one they had, but it's a really snug fit on this. I had to put an O-ring in as well to ensure the seal was better and it wouldn't wiggle around. But yeah, really nice. It's threaded as well. It was the cheapest one I could find. It had these really nice cuts in it, so I thought perfect, and it weighs like nothing. So, and then with the hop-up unit, it's literally a stock TM hop-up unit. So nothing special has gone into it. It is just stock. Then I've got the barrel and bucking that's different. But yeah, it shoots really well, range is nice. Yeah, can't complain with this barrel setup. Next we've got the slide itself. So obviously it's the Hi-Capa Customs JUNGLECAT slide. See right there, number 42, it's in purple. Up front we've got the AIP aluminium front sight, which is a fibre optic, so lights up really nice at dark. Right there. And then at the back we got the Hi-Capa charging handle. So it's just for looks and because I like the really flat look on it. Because you don't really use the sights anyway, so I think just one point of reference is enough for CQB. But yeah, so, and then we got the hammer protector at the back. It needs to be cleaned, it's quite dirty. But that's just to ensure that your slide doesn't crack and it puts less wear on your slide. And obviously this is the most expensive part of the build. I don't really want it wearing down anytime soon, so I want to make it last as long as possible. Now underneath, we've actually got a Garda nozzle in here. I know some people complain about Garda, but this just worked fine. And then we've got a 200% nozzle spring, and then it's the Hi-Capa blowback unit, BO1 I believe. It's the one that has the piston head rather than the O-rings. Now obviously the O-rings one is better, but I found a piston head that works perfectly with this nozzle, so it all fits perfectly, the seal's nice, and it shoots really hard for what PSI I'm using, so I can't really complain about that. So if we move that to one side, we can go on to the lower. Now I'm not going to take apart the lower fully, as the lower is a real bitch to put back together, but I'll just go over everything that's gone into it. So to start off, we've got the Hi-Capa Customs trigger right here. This is the tunable one. I haven't tuned it all the way, but I've tuned it to a little bit. You have to take it apart to tune it, but we got it there. And I think that's pretty nice. Now the hammer is actually a steel hammer. I believe it's Hi-Capa, but I'm not entirely sure. I got it on Elite Shooting Center, which was a Hi-Capa building company, but they were closing down. And I got it really cheap, so I just thought I'd put it in this build. It looks cool. Now the safety itself, I'm also not sure where it came from. It came in a bundle. I bought a pre-built Hi-Capa used one, and it came with this. I'm not sure, so if anyone can ID that, that'd be great. It feels really nice, and it's got that aggressive little curve on it. Nice and comfortable. Now the safety is just an ambi safety. Also came with this build, so I'm not entirely sure where that came from. We've got AIP grip screws, AIP extended mag release. Now you can also take this off and just have it as a purple mag release. But I like the little extended, I think it looks a bit cooler. And then on the bottom we've got the Hi-Capa Customs magwell. So this is a nice anodized, obviously all the colours match, which is nice, even though it's AIP and Hi-Capa, they all match perfectly. Now next we got the Hi-Capa grip right here, which is like the skater grip. So we got the sandpapery texture. Now these are obviously my favourite grip, best ones in the game I gotta say. They've got a little cut here and a little cut here for comfort, so your hand chokes up on it really well, so you can get a nice grip. But yeah, by far my favourite grip compared to the stock ones at least. Now going inside the whole hammer assembly, we have a Hi-Capa steel sears in there, and also upgraded AIP springs for all the little bits in there. And then the hammer strut is also Hi-Capa I believe. Now in here we got the hammer power regulator, also by Hi-Capa. I think I've only got 2 of each of the little like short stroke rings in there, and then I'm using the stock hammer spring and then the Hi-Capa like hammer stroke head thing basically. Yeah, so that's it. We've got the stock frame as well. I don't see a point in upgrading the frame apart from for looks. So yeah, so that's a complete rundown of all the parts that went into this. I'm just going to put it back together while I'm talking. So the slide, a lot of people will say there's no point in upgrading, adds nothing to performance. But actually I found this is a lot snappier. So my friend actually has a plastic slide on his build. It's very similar in it's got a trigger like this. The sears, he's got a steel hammer sear and then a different hammer. There's some other bits inside, but the slide and the blowback housing is obviously stock. But his slide actually cycles a lot slower than mine, even though mine is aluminium and meant to be slower, as everyone says online. But I found it's not, it actually cycles pretty well. And another thing people don't realise with these aluminium slides, one is durability. Obviously the plastic slides, I've seen them crack quite a lot. Had a bit of damage on my own, and also when the plastic slides get shot, they put a little dent into it. I've actually got a couple slides on the side here. I'll just go grab them in a minute, and then I'll show you what I mean. As you can see, there's dents and dings in it. And this slide has barely been used. It came on a Hi-Capa from someone that had used it only a handful of times, and then I taking it apart basically and just taking the parts out of it. Look how beat up it is. There's all the little marks in it. Let's try and get that better. But it's all chewed up where the side stop is. And yeah, they also crack because when the blowback housing goes in, there's a little groove that's inset, so you actually have to pull the side apart to fit it in, which I've actually cracked a side doing that before, which is not great. So yeah, that's one reason why you need the aluminium side. But another one that no one ever really thinks about is stability and alignment. So these plastic sides, if I grab it back a second, we put it on the frame here, there's quite a lot of play. See that? There's like quite a big gap in there. Meaning, so when it cycles, it's going to wobble quite a bit. Meaning that your shots are not going to be as stable. And then your BBs aren't going to fly in a straight line. So whenever you point somewhere, it's going to be a little bit inaccurate because the side wobbles, making the barrel wobble, and your shot's going all over the place. But with these aluminium sides, so these come really tight, like I mean really tight. I had to sit there all day trying to work this in. So I had to just rack it back and forth over and over again. If you look at this, there's like no give. There's a little bit of up and down give, but that's just because there's two rails. But it just keeps it so much more stable. Yeah, madness. But it cycles really fast for what it is for an aluminium side. Just cycles mad. Anyway, I'll put a full build list in the description below. Yeah, I'll put all the parts that I put in it, all the names of the parts. I won't link them all because that'll take ages. You'll be able to find them on Hi-Capa Customs, Hi-Capa Hub, wherever you're in the US or the UK, to build your own pretty much exactly like this. Yeah, hands down my best Hi-Capa build I've ever done, and I've done about 5 so far. This is my favourite, shoots the best, looks the best, and yeah, probably the quickest as well. So that's going to be it for this build overview. Like I said before, there will be a gameplay video coming soon showing how this gun actually performs. If you want to get a sneak peek of that, there will be some shorts on my channel already showing how this gun actually shoots, and there'll probably be a couple montages on there showing me using this in CQB. So yeah, the next video it will be similar gameplay clips from Tier 1 CQB, which is my local site. I'll just be doing a quick voiceover over the top, basically saying how this thing is being used and how it's performing overall. So yeah, that's it for this one. Make sure you like and subscribe for more, and check out the links in the description for all these parts if you want to build your own. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.